Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with another installment of Building the Team. So, earlier this week, we looked at, the figures I pulled from the Spider-Man Venom Absolute Carnage sealed event, as well as the figures from the Fast Forces. Well, as that's the new hotness, that's what we'll be focusing on for this week's team build. 500 points must include a Spider-Man related character. So we got two teams today. The first one is a Spider-Man family team. I know, where did I ever come up with the idea to have a Spider-Man family team when one of the requirements is must include a Spider-Man related character? It boggles the mind, I swear. Alright. So, starting off, we've got from the Fast Forces, Black Cat. Black Cat here comes in at 50 points. She has the Defender's team ability, which allows her to share her defense with other with adjacent friendly characters that also the Defender's team ability. And seeing as how this team's got a lot of wild cards. It's going to be more a case of her sharing it with them, or her using their even higher defenses. So let's take a quick look at her card. Keyword-wise, got the Defenders, Marvel Knights, Spider-Man Family, and Martial Artist keywords. She's got improved movement, ignores elevated hindering terrain. Two traits, Cat Burger, which is stealth, and always bet on black. Once per attack, when Black Cat attacks or is attacked, roll a d6 and you may replace the die in that attack roll with the result. Now that can be very useful. I mean, if your opponent rolls a crit hit, well, hey. Well, let's just see. Oh, look, there's a 1. Yeah, your 12 just became a 7. Looking at our dial, right quick, we start off with some leap climb, followed with some sidestep. Then we've got some precision strike and some smoke cloud on attack, combat reflexes, super senses, and late dial willpower on defense. Perplex and exploit weakness on damage. I will say the one disappointment here is the lack of Blades, Claws, Fangs. And to a degree, also the lack of probability control. Though I get that always bet on black was kind of a way of doing something different. So I get what they were going for, but sometimes it's just like, hey, that's you got to go with you got to go with the standard. Anywho, moving on, we've got Venom. Venom here comes in at 65 points. He's got the Spider-Man Ally team ability, making him a wild card. And looking at his keywords, we've got Codex, Sinister Syndicate, Spider-Man Family, Monster and Reporter keywords, as well as, take an additional look, improved movement, elevated hindering terrain. We got the symbiote trait, giving him plasticity and shape change. And his other trait we've got is Lethal Protector. Once per attack, when an adjacent friendly character takes damage, give Venom a Protector token. As a free action, remove a Protector token to make a close attack that deals penetrating damage. Okay, alright. Now, looking at his dial. First off, Venom is a secret identity figure. However, we don't have Eddie Brock, so I'm not even going to bother with the secret identity section. So we got I'm going to block of charge, followed by a block of sidestep on speed. We've got a block of super strength, followed by a block of Blades, Claws, Fangs on attack. On defense, he's got Indomitable, so built-in willpower. We've got a block of toughness, followed by a block of super senses. And finally, on damage, we start off with nothing, and then we get a block of late dial close combat expert. Also, as I mentioned, Black Cat's Defender's team ability, Venom can use that, and if you take a look at his defense value, we've got a lot of 18s there, and she has an 18 in the middle of her dial. He got 18s at the beginning, so keep the two of them together, adjacent, and hey, he can make things he can make it a little harder for her to go down. Next up, we've got Spider-Man. Miles Morales, to be exact. Miles here also comes in at 65 points. He's got the Avengers, Champions, Shield, Spider-Man Family, and Ultimates keywords, as well as improved movement, ignores elevated terrain. He also has 2 team abilities. He's got the Spider-Man Ally team ability, which makes him a wild card, and the Ultimates team ability, which gives him improved movement and improved targeting for hindering terrain. He's got a trait, Dimensional Travel Watch, allowing him to start the game with the Dimensional Watch equipped at no cost. We don't have the Dimensional Watch, so that's not really going to do much for us. Anywho, looking at the dial here, we've got, on speed, we got a special power, a slightly different genetically enhanced spider, giving Miles plasticity, sidestep, and stealth. We get a couple clicks of late dial charge, then back to the special power. On attack, we open up the special power, Shocking Web Blast, giving him precision strike. And when he's given a move action, moves 5 squares or less, after resolutions, Miles can use Incapacitate as range at no cost, and may use it to target all opposing characters within range and line of fire. That can actually be very useful. It can help to lock down your opponent for a while, for a turn. Say everyone that's within Miles's, every opposing figure within Miles's range and line of fire has 1 token. Well, Venom Blast a lot of them. All of them that you hit, get a second one. Can't do nothing for the next turn. Then we get some super strength for a little bit, but then we get back to the Venom Blast. On defense, we've got some super senses followed by some combat reflexes. We open up with some outwit, which is always useful, and then we have some late dial shape change. Honestly, the Spider-Man can be really good, as discovered in the sealed tournament. Anywho, moving on, we've got Venom, the Earth X Venom from the Earth X set. So Venom here comes in at 60 points, or 70 points, not 60. He has the Earth X, Spider-Man Family, Monster, and Police keywords. She also has improved movement, ignores elevated and hindering terrain. We got the Alien Symbiote trait, which gives her plasticity, shape change, and allows her to break away automatically. Then, looking at her dial, we got on speed, we open some charge, followed by some sidestep, followed by some running shot. That thing is on attack. We got a special power in total control of the symbiote, which gives her incapacitate. And when she uses it after resolutions, give an action token to each other opposing character within 2 squares in line of fire of a hit target. Then we get some mid-dial precision strike. On defense, she got Indomitable, which is always a good thing. We open up some super senses on there. We get some a mid-dial special power on defense called Murdoch's Training Lets Me Find You. Gives her super senses. Venom and adjacent friendly characters can use improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain. So that can be very useful, especially with this team, as everyone but Miles, Miles can already do that, or already has improved targeting for hindering terrain. You can have everyone basically just use using defenders, and and most of them already ignore hindering. Then on defense, we've got or damage. We got some mid dial close combat expert and some very late dial perplex. I would say probably the one downside to Venom is she doesn't have a team ability. She's not even a wild card, so she can't use defenders or ultimates. Moving on to Spider-Man. Peter Parker Spider-Man to be exact. This is the Fast Forces Spider-Man. Comes in at 75 points. He has the Spider-Man family, reporter, and scientist keywords. He's also got the Spider-Man ally team ability, so he's a wild card. We've got a trait here, Marvel Team Up, and it is quite possibly the greatest Spider-Man trait to ever Spider-Man. When establishing theme teams, choose a keyword possessed by a friendly character, or choose a named keyword a character on your starting force has. Spider-Man has that keyword. It basically kind of reflects the fact that Spider-Man is like everybody's ally. Technically, he's considered to be at least a backup member of like every major super team in the Marvel Universe. He's been an active or backup member of the Avengers for years. He's a backup member of the Fantastic Four. Hell, he's even a backup member of the X-Men. He's not even a mutant. He's probably worked with the Defenders before, and the Champions. Hell, even he's probably even worked with the Great Lakes Avengers, and well, he probably at least didn't openly insult them. But yeah, so looking at the dial, on speed we open with a couple clicks of charge, followed by a couple clicks of running shot, then a couple clicks of flurry, and on attack we open up with some quake, which then gives way to incapacitate. And yes, there's a 12 attack he starts off with. On damage or defense, he opens up with combat reflexes, which then gives way to super senses, and then on damage we open up with special power quips and thwips, which gives Spider-Man leadership, but he succeeds on a 4 through a 6, so you got a 50-50 shot of hitting leadership with him. And finally, we get some perplex at the end. He also has improved movement for elevated terrain, so he would actually be pretty good for. It wouldn't be the worst idea to have him use the Ultimate's team ability from Miles, but at the same time, you know, it's not entirely necessary for him. Next up, we've got Ghost Spider. Also from the Fast Forces. Better known to some as Spider-Gwen. Ghost Spider comes in at 75 points, has the Spider-Man ally team ability, as well as the Codex, Spider-Man family, celebrity, and monster keywords, and improved movement ignores elevated terrain. She also has the symbiote trait, giving her plasticity and shape change. And yeah, since Earthx, they did decide to kind of nerf that a little bit. As you no doubt noticed with the Earthx Venom, though the older ones could break away automatically, the newer ones can't. So you win some, you lose some. Anywho, looking at her dial, we start off with a block of charge, followed by some sidestep on speed, and some on attack. We got super strength, which gives way to incapacitate. She's got indomitable, so built-in willpower is always a good thing. Super senses, followed by combat reflexes, followed by a click of regeneration at the end. Finally, on damage, we open up with outwit, which gives way to close combat expert. That can all be very useful, especially the outwit. In fact, I think that gives us two starting forces of outwit. Anyway, last figure for the Spider-Man family team, we've got the Human Torch, and I love this sculpt. This is from the Cosmic Clash starter a few months ago. Human Torch here comes in at 100 points. He's got the Fantastic Four and Human, Spider-Man family, celebrity, and herald keywords. He also has improved movement, ignores characters, and he has a trait, Flame Trail. Once per turn for all characters with this trait, when Human Torch moves, after resolutions, choose a character he moved through or adjacent to and deal it 1 penetrating damage. Okay, alright. Oftentimes, Johnny is shown with a trail of flame behind him. I mean, hell, look at the sculpt. He's got it, That's a neat way of showing it off. So looking at his dial, he's got the Fantastic Four team ability. But looking at his dial, we've got running on speed. He goes back and forth between running shot and hypersonic. On attack, we go. Looks like we go back and we start off with some energy explosion. Then he picks up the special power Flame On, which gives him poison, but he can use it even if he's been moved or placed this turn. He's also got some Pulse Wave later on the dial. On defense, we've got an almost full run of regular energy shield deflection. On the last click, we have a stop click. Ben, where are you? Stop, but only if another friendly character with the Fantastic Four keyword is on the map. Air shield deflection. And finally, on damage, we open up as a ranged combat expert, which then goes back and alternates with enhancement. So not too shabby. And with Spider-Man's Marvel Team Up trait, you can basically say, okay, well, Spider-Man's got the Fantastic Four keyword, and so Human Torch stop click if Spider-Man's still on the map works. Now, our other team. We got a Spider-Man family team. Well, there's been another new set released in the last few months that we haven't really gotten to do too much with. Fantastic Four. So let's take, and we'll actually be doing a little more concerning the Fantastic Four set. Looking at the set itself later as I pick up more of it. I had initially planned to do an unboxing, but money was kind of a thing that was not entirely, in abundance. So yeah. Anywho, so the Fantastic Four team, starting off with Black Leopard. So Black Leopard here comes in at 50 points. He has the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Wakanda, Ruler, and Warrior keywords, as well as improved movement, ignores hindering terrain. And we got a trait there, as you can see. To fight for equality in Rudyarda. The maximum attack, defense, and damage values of opposing characters within 6 squares in line of fire are each equal to Black Leopard's printed value of that type. Now that's just mean. And I love it. So let's look at the dial, actually. So going up against Black Leopard, opposing figures can have a maximum of 10 defense. Again, within range and line of fire, max of 10 attack, 17 defense, and 3 damage. Now looking at the powers, his powers, we've got some charge, we've got some flurry, some stealth on speed. On attack, we've got some early Blade's Claws, followed by some precision strike. He's got Indomitable for the built-in willpower, combat reflexes and super senses. On damage, we open up the special power Reminders of How They View Even a King, giving him leadership and perplex. When Black Leopard uses perplex to target himself, modify the chosen value by +2 instead if an opposing character within 6 squares in line of fire has a higher printed value for the chosen value than Black Leopard's printed value. Okay. And then that gives way to just regular perplex. Definitely not a bad use of 50 points. Next up we've got X-23. We got a lot of her in this set, so get used to seeing her, because they're all good. So X-23 comes in at 50 points. She's got the Team Player Wildcard ability, as well as the all-new X-Men, Fantastic Four, Weapon X, X-Force, X-Men, and Detective keywords. She also has improved movement, ignores hindering terrain, as well as 2 traits. First off is Circle of 4. If she hasn't been moved or replaced this turn, modify attack and damage by +1. Next up we have Healing Factor, which gives her toughness. And at the beginning of your turn, if she has 2 action tokens, you can heal her 1 click. So looking at her dial, We open up some charge, which then gives way to a couple clicks of special speed power Hunter and Tracker, giving her flurry, sidestep, and stealth. Then she goes back to charge and some late dial, well, sidestep, and a click of sidestep at the end. We got blades at the beginning and end with some precision strike in the middle. She's got Indomitable, super senses and combat reflexes. We got exploit weakness, empower, and battle fury. Always making for a nice combination. Also, I mean, she's got also let's take a quick look at the dial. She's got some really good stats, so yeah, unless she just gets wrecked really quick, she's probably going to be around for a while. Next up, we've got Spider-Man. It's not exactly the most dynamic Spidey sculpt, but it's still, it's Spidey. Spidey here comes in at 75 points. He's got the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man Ally team abilities. He also has the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man Family, Reporter, and Scientist keywords, as well as improved movement, ignores elevated, hindering, and characters. And we've got 2 traits. First up, we've got a new kind of fantastic teamwork. When Spider-Man hits with a close attack, until your next turn, other friendly characters with the Fantastic Four keyword can use improved movement, ignores characters, elevated, hindering terrain. Next up, we have the new Fantastic Four, which gives them passenger of 1, but only to carry characters with the Fantastic Four keyword. Once per turn, when Spider-Man is carried in place adjacent to 2 or more opposing characters, after resolutions, he may make a close attack. Okay? Now, the way I understand it is still with the new Fantastic Four trait, that's still a costed action. So you're not going to be carrying him out and then just be like, hey, yeah, place him adjacent to 2 or more opposing characters and be like, all right, free attack. No. It's still going to be a costed action. All right, so looking at his dial, we get a couple clicks of running shot, some sidestep. We got some plasticity. We got some incapacitate on attack. On defense, we've got some super senses and some combat reflexes. We got some mid to late dial close combat expert on damage. Not too shabby, to be perfectly honest. I think really he shines more with his fantastic teamwork trait than anything, but still, it's a solid dial. Moving on, we've got the Hulk, the Jade Giant, the Green Goliath. Hulk comes in at 75 points, has the Fantastic Four team ability. He also has the same 2 traits as Spider-Man. He's got the Fantastic Four monster keywords. The new Fantastic Four trait is the exact same as Spider-Man's. As for his new kind of fantastic teamwork, he gives out charge. So, which admittedly most of the team already has, to be perfectly honest. Looking at his dial, we open up with a special speed power, Guess I'll Smash, charge, but does not have speed. That's just nasty. Then we get some regular charge and some sidestep. On attack, we get some super strength followed by some quake. We got Indomitable, a couple clicks of vulnerability, then some toughness, then some regen. And we get some late dial close combat expert. And it syncs up perfectly with his sidesteps, so he can actually move. He can move for 2 with sidestep, and then be all okay, close combat expert. And eesh, with a 3 with a yeah. Anyway, moving on. We've got the Invisible Woman. This is the rare Invisible Woman. We'll actually be taking a closer look at the very least the common, uncommon, and rare version of Invisible Woman from the set. So Invisible Woman comes in at 75 points. She's got the Shield and Fantastic Four keywords. as well as the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Lady Liberators, Shield, Celebrity, and Spy keywords. We also got a couple traits. The first one, yeah, my power set is really good for espionage, which is stealth and improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain. Adjacent friendly characters that share a keyword with her can use stealth and improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain. So that could be somewhat useful for this set, or for this lineup. Put her adjacent to Black Leopard, and any opposing characters hiding in stealth are now within line of fire of his trait. So they lose out. They get their combat values replaced. Now the next trait is exactly why we'll be doing a video on her in particular later on. Form the new Fantastic Four. Now this trait's not going to matter for today, but I'll go ahead and read it just to give you guys an idea. At the beginning of the game, you may replace up to 4 friendly characters with the same number of characters from your sideline on their starting clicks. All replacement or replaced characters must have the Fantastic Four keyword in different names. Total points of the replacement characters can't exceed the total points of the replaced characters. Okay, all right. Now, like I said, it's not going to really do much with this team. I really just can't, off the top of my head, think of who I would replace with who. But yeah, like I said, we'll be getting into that trait. We'll actually be doing a video dedicated to that trait here pretty soon. Looking at her dial, we've got a nice little block of running shots to start off with, followed by some force blast. On attack, we open up the special power, I won't kill anyone. Incapacitate. When Invisible Woman uses it, after resolutions, hit characters modify attack -1 until your next turn. That then gives way to Precision Strike. On defense, we've got some energy deflection, followed by some toughness. On damage, we open up the probability control, which is always useful to have, which then gives way to Perplex. Moving on, we've got the old knucklehead himself, Wolverine. On his first non-X team. Wolverine here comes in at 75 points. He's got the Fantastic Four, Weapon X, and X-Men keywords. He also has 3 traits, which each will go into separately. Well, not so much. He's got the new Fantastic Four trait, same as Spider-Man and Hulk, exactly the same. He also has the new kind of Fantastic Teamwork trait. When he hits the close attack, other friendly characters with the FF keyword can use Flurry. Okay, alright. So, now the second trait listed though, I don't stay down easy. That's one of the things that makes him a big deal. When Wolverine will be KO'd, except by this trait, instead, put him on this card with 4 healing tokens. At the beginning of your turn, remove a healing token. When you remove the last one, place him on the map on click number 6 within 4 squares of a friendly character with the Fantastic Four keyword. If you can't KO him, protected pulse wave. So even if he gets KO'd by a pulse wave, he's still going to be able to come back. Alright, so looking at the actual dial, we open it with a special speed power, Bloodthirsty Barrage, which gives him Charge, Flurry, and Sidestep. When Wolverine KOs an opposing character, after resolutions, remove an action token from him. Yeah, it do be like that. That then gives way to just regular Flurry. We have full dial of Blades, Claws, Fangs, and take a look at those combat values. Double digits the whole way. Including some late dial 12s. 12s at the end, everybody. On defense, he's got Indomitable, so built-in willpower, then we get some toughness, followed by combat reflexes, and we get some late dial regen. So the idea would probably be if you do manage to put him back on the map after he would be KO'd, the first time you do, give him an action to regen a little bit. And then we got some late dial Battle Fury as well. And he has his action on the same 2 clicks as his 12 attack. Finally, for the team, we've got Aunt Petunia's nephew, the ever-loving blue-eyed thing. Scourge of Yancey Street. So the thing comes in at 100 points. He's got the Fantastic Four, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Celebrity keywords. And we got a trait. It's Clobberin' Time. Power. If no other friendly character has been placed this turn, choose an opposing character that's within 4 squares of a friendly character with the Fantastic Four keyword that was attacked since your last turn. Place the thing such that he can make a close attack targeting the chosen character, then do so. If he hits and his attack roll is 10 or more after resolutions, remove an action token from him. Okay. Alright. Then looking at the dial itself, we open up with special speed power. Sometimes you gotta break stuff, giving him charge and improved movement, ignores and destroys blocking terrain. Wish he had improved movement hindering terrain as well, but oh well. Then we get some flurry. On attack, we get a full run of super strength. Defense, we've got Indomitable. We got some Invincible, Impervious, Invulnerability, and then at the end there we got this special power. Ain't feeling so good, Stretcho. Stop, but only if there's another friendly character with the Fantastic Four keyword is on the map. Invulnerability. Okay, there's a common thing with the Cosmic Clash figures. Their stop clicks were conditional. And then on damage, we also have a few clicks interspersed throughout the dial of Empower. So, not too shabby. Anyway, so that's it for this edition of Building the Team. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments which team you think is better. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.